Good evening. My name is Chaza, right here on.
Good evening. Good evening, viewers, and welcome to the program. This is a point of view where we review the stories that has been taking place this week, that has been trending both on social media and on the ground. We welcome you to the program, and you can join us through social media. You can join us on all our platforms on Ubuntu channel. We are happy to have you. Twamisengela Mwaiseni and Iseni Twise Tulandeko Ama stories that has been happening in our community. And if you've got any story to share, please come through. We are going to share our link on our pages. Please come to the studio using those links. Once again, welcome to the program. We've been with me in the studio. I've been joined with Womkelebai. Womkelebai, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ritumezi Mamuchwani.
Mutwa Mtos Chwani. Chaza, welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you. I was actually, thrown out. I really don't know. Connectivity suddenly became a challenge, but it's good to be back. And good evening, Himba.
Good evening, Chaza, and over to you, Chaza.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Womkelebai.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Except, the connectivity issue. I can see that CJ also is not on set, probably because of the same. Let's get started. Stories of the week, headlines of the week. We are going to look at them and get to react to them or add our voices to them. Let's get to the first story of the week.
As a deterrent to others and as a lesson to Honorable Miles Sampa, it has been decided that we invoke the provisions of Article 61I and 61J of the party constitution. In so doing, Honorable Miles Walia Sampa is hereby suspended from the Central Committee of the party for a period of 6 weeks, starting today, Monday, 30th of January, 2023. A letter of suspension, which states the conditions of the suspension shall be handed to him by the Secretary General.
Chaza, we can't hear you. That is our first story. Womkelebai, what is your reaction to that story?
Well, my reaction to that story is that these guys, our brothers and sisters in the opposition, we are well aware. We know who they are. We know what they are capable of doing. And we are not surprised that Miles Sampa, again, this is happening for the second time, if not the third. Again, he has been the target. Again, he has been the sacrificial lamb. In every undertaking that this PF does, there will always be a person that they will sacrifice and push under the bus. and Mao Sampa for just being himself and for being honest, because he has not abrogated any or violated any constitutional provision in the PF. That is just they've just created that, and they have a fear that this gentleman, he has a huge constituency in his in the same party, and they know that he poses a danger to them to become the so-called the presidents. Mao Sampa, if we go back in history, remember that the incumbent by then, the acting president of the Republic of Zambia and the president of the party at that time, Guy Scott, did nominate Mao Sampa to be the person that was going to go to that convention. If you remember very well what happened, they created a lot of confusion, and while they were busy creating that confusion, that's where the KBF of this world, the Tutwangulubes of this world, may his soul rest in peace, all these other guys that had a hidden agenda, that's how they imposed Vo Edgar Lungu. At one time, Edgar Lungu was even suspended, if you remember very well, from the position in PF. And again, they made noise, including Bariabambiba tribalist. They made a lot of noise to go to his house, Guy Scott, to tell him to reinstate Lungu, or else they were going to cry foul or do something. You know, violent is just on their fingertips. Guy Scott, under duress, had to reinstate Edgar Lungu.
Where are you there, Mukelebai?
While he was being reinstated, that is how, by the time these guys, Mao Sampa, tried to organize themselves, a judge in the middle of the night was waking up to say enter whatever the so-called injunction restraining anyone from doing whatever. Meanwhile, Edgar Lungu was pushed. The next thing we know, Edgar Lungu was elected as a party president. Alisa, you know the history. You know what happened. And Mao Sampa was left with Muli Mwamonen. And Lelo, you want us to say Mao Sampa was loved by these people? No. Mao Sampa they know that his guy poses danger, that he could actually beat them, because Mao Sampa is honest. And even us, the people that do not belong to PF, we know the way he does the politics. You know, he's very honest and he's down to earth. He talks to the people on the ground, and he has a very, very helpful hand. He helps people that are in need. And we see, and we know what happened even last time when he was a mayor, how he was bullied by the very people who are suspending him today, pushed from back and forth and hit from one to, he was even forced to apologize for simple things like standing in for Zambians, to say you can't mistreat Zambian like this. He was made to apologize. We know the story. Lelo mwema Zambian mulande kutirati Mao Sampa has violated the PF constitution. How and where? You don't see other political members, the so-called aspirant, going on social media, campaigning for themselves. We have seen them. And when today their colleague tries to do the same, then you come and block him. Awe. That's not okay. But PF Papena, these are the things that we told you, that you are going to now start the inner fighting. Because Mayo Sampa's people, they are now not going to sit back and they would want to fight back. And at the end of the day, we will see confusion in their part. So these guys, they will never change. Tabaka chinje iyo, kapoli, ni kapoli, na totel.
All right, Womkelewai, thank you so much. We do appreciate. I can see Himba, smiling there. I invite you to be next to actually react to this story, Himba.
Thank you so much, Chaza, and good evening, viewers, once more. Chaza, literally for me, I can't blame the leadership, because I think they are quoting from their constitution. And if they feel one of the senior members has gone against their constitution, I think no one is above the law. The law has to prevail. If that is what their constitution says, I think for me, I'm okay with it. If that's not what their constitution says, it's unfortunate. And as we know that our colleagues, kukonga malamulo skambili, vama izosebenzisa ma shortcuts. Whenever it comes to the issues of leadership, vama sebenzisa ma shortcuts, ngabavota ma presidential candidates, vama sebenzisa manja. So it's for them, anything is possible. But if that's what the constitution says, and Honorable Mao Sampa has gone against the constitution, I think let the right thing be done. But if it is not, it's unfortunate, and may we have sanity in these political parties. This politics of personalizing, fighting each other on personal level will never bring any development to our country. All we need is to be, let us be upright and put the Zambian people first and our country at large. Not if you are on personal agenda. We are tired. Politicians, not tunaka. We want to see sanity in our country. We want to see sanity in these political parties, and we want to see men and women of integrity to head these political parties. We want to see sanity in these political parties. We are fed up of a narrative where people say, my politics ni adoti, my politics ni adoti. Can we change the narrative that at least when we are leading a child, there should be people of integrity, there should be people of, substance, caliber, so that we can add development to our country. I submit, Chaza.
All right, thank you so much. I was looking forward to, listening to CJ's, submission, but again, he's been thrown out. Without much ado, we actually progress to the next story. Then on the other side, we get to react. Those of you that are watching and would like to join us on set, you'd like to make a comment on the stories that we have tonight, you are very welcome. You can join us by clicking on the link that we get to share in the comment section there. If you have anything, you can also get to comment in case you don't want to join us live on set. This is Ubuntu channel, and the program you're watching about now is Point of View. Let's get to the next story.
And let me encourage you to take roller. That is the whole meaning. That is the health. And let me encourage you to take roller. That is the whole meaning. That is the health. And let me encourage you to take roller. That is the whole meaning. That is the health. Because we Zambians, we think breakfast. To roller, to suma, nutrition value is far much higher than the breakfast. So that I'm going to have breakfast. Should then 156 per bag. And you get more value.
No. Nikulimba being a leader. Ako kama chicha zuno, kama chichungamo. Mami, I response ya mene mo pasaba. sipu sana nai. I remember paja bread idule. And people were complaining, good bread yadula. The PF said, no, got bread yadula, eat candle. Yeah, ndiye achaika only that mwaika mbako polite. Uti vantu wafuna breakfast mwati no eat roll. It has nutritional value. Kadiri hapa siya nutritional value. And I remember very well. All of that day after Wambera PF Bakambati, Iti Kandora, he was upset. He was very furious. He even put up a post per Facebook page. He even said, when the people can't afford bread, the PF's answer is let them eat kandolo. And he went on to say, our dream, meaning the UPND dream, is for all Zambians, not selective Zambians, all Zambians to be able to afford the food of their choice. Forget all those words. Just mark the words of their choice. Not the food with nutritional value. Of their choice. Yeah. People want breakfast. Even if it doesn't have nutritional value, they just want breakfast. And ndabanayo kandoro muzwa kuti ina nutritional value, but people wanted bread. There is no difference. Let's just find a way of arresting the situation. Otherwise, it'll be bad.
There we have it, a story.
Chaza, we can't hear you. There we've got a story that is talking about the meal meal prices and the reaction of our vice presidents. Chaza, over to you.
All right, thank you. I think it's a habit that I'll be thrown away as we get from this story. All right, thank you so much, Himba, for covering me up. Just like I was about to say before I was cut out, I would like to invite you, Himba, to react first, to this story.
Thank you so much, Chaza. Apparently, I think we talked about it yesterday. Literally, my reaction to this, I don't know whether I'm reacting to the prices of Milimi or I have to react to the VP's response. Chaza, which one is which here? Okay,
remember, you are so free. You are so free to actually react anyhow. It could be one-sided or all of the angles available.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to start by reacting on the meal meal prices, which I think we've talked about it. It has been a long debate, but my reaction would be, I think we don't really expect the commodities to reduce just like abruptly like impugn. I think what we are going through as the Zambian at the moment, it's a process like we are looking for long term. And when there's change of government, it doesn't mean that things have to change there and then. There's a process. It's a gradually. It's step by step. There are systems. There are things that need to be put in place. And when we talk about the prices of Milimi, we are all aware that our systems are rotten. They were left rotten. And when you have to solve such situations, you really have to look for long-term solutions. Much do we understand Milimi ukagwira kuunga mzambia shwa wagwira mazambians kuchilonda, which should be a priority. And I'm sure our leaders are looking into that. And they really understand how Milimi is important because it's a staple food in our country. Manja, this what we are going through. It's a situation like, inga muka, if you're planting maize, right? Mwashanga milis. Zizambila first zizaola milisi zija. And this is simply the pain we are going through as the Zambian people. Eventually, that milisi to start germinating, right? Slowly. And we'll not start seeing the benefits there and there when it's germinating. Yambo kula pangono pangono, eventually tizanga na milis, and we are going to benefit. Tidaja milisi, tizaga isa and everything. And I think this is the process we are going through as Zambian people at the moment. We are in the process, pajapeya ola, ija seed to germinate. So we are, I'm sure our leaders, they are looking at the long-term solutions. And for those solutions to be found or to be put in place, it takes a bit of time. But it's a time when our government leaders, they're asking for support from us. They are telling us to tighten up the belts a little bit so that we can benefit in the long run. Because if we just, even nyumba, lyonse chebe, olobaja yantuema kwenda kudiabu, kuvala vodula, muona kwe mchosa ndrama ni kungono, you're spending more than the income imaleterela. So now our government are working hard that we spend within our means, and this should be a long term so that kasare muli mwamonen in the near future. And coming to the vice president, his response, I think I've got a different reaction over this. Our leader was actually, it's not that she was mocking the people of Zambia. That's not it. I think she spoke in two categories. She spoke as a leader and she also spoke as a mother. And she also looked at, at this moment, we are not forcing, she's not forcing. It was just a suggestion. You've got 100 kwacha. In that 100 kwacha, that's what you have. Because now there's this crisis of Milimu, which she has accepted. She hasn't denied that unganuo cheaper. And she hasn't denied that we are not going to work on it. She has accepted as a leader. They've taken responsibility. All she's saying, well, we are going through this crisis. There are other alternatives which we can look at. If you can afford a bag of rolame, why can't you go for it? She's not saying, no. Well, this is what we have. Situation, you don't have ndramaya bread on that particular day. Okay, tenti pikeko porridge, sugar tea. So she's just looking
so
at
Yimba,
yes.
Allow me to ask you just where you are. So then, how different is this statement from the one we had in the past, where we were told if you can't afford bread, eat kandolo?
Okay, the way it's coming out, the way it's coming out, probably people would say there's no difference, but it also depends how it was said, when it was said, where it was said, and who said it. Hope you are getting me, Chaza. Because if you look, even the tone when she even went further. But for the others, it was just like, you buy kandolo, you can eat whatever you want anyway. But much do we say, okay, fine, we've got the choice of we eat what we want, you've got the choice of, but if it is not available. But at the moment, Chaza, whether we like it or not, even in other countries, you can even check one of these big countries in the world. There is a strike, all the government civil servants, they are on strike. There's that hardship. And worse for Zambia, the UPND came into government at the point that we are graduating from COVID, from Nkondo. Despite that, we've got our own domestic problems where our coffers were empty. The system was rotten. We didn't have we had the system. So it's like we are planting this seed. And let's guard it. Let's put fertilizer, tikeko manure, so that we can benefit in the long run. I submit, Chaza.
All right. Thank you so much. I can see, Emmanuel, itching to also react to this story. But before I get to that, CJ, considering that he's been struggling, I invite you, CJ, to react to this story. Unfortunately, he has, been cut out again. Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, Chaza, for having me around. Good evening, Bomkereva. Good evening, Himba.
Good evening.
Good evening, Emmanuel.
Thank you. I'm here to react on this story. You see, beloved, even the Bible says, do unto others what you want them to do unto you. Just like the video we saw, the president back then, he was so furious when the issue of Kandolo was talked about. But looking at now, the words the vice president said, I feel they were trying to defend themselves at some point. And for a certain reason, this is where I would just appeal to them. I'm sure they are listening to us now to say they should give us a solution and not just saying Kandolo Isuma, like what nutrients, like Himba would say. Yes, we know it's nice, but then you see, we are suffering. And they just this past week they hiked fuel prices, so we are expecting things to go more higher. I submit.
All right. Thank you so much. We do appreciate, your submission.
Well,
See-
it seems as though we've lost Chaza. CJ, your view take in this story.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Good evening, Himba. Good evening, Womkiloi, Chaza, and our viewers. Yeah, it's
Good evening, and
it's indeed a
it's
pleasure
good
be
to
on the
have you.
program, tonight. Thank you. Yeah. So straight to that clip. Yeah, we had a discussion around it last night. Okay. Yes, people are complaining currently that the price of milling meal has gone up. So for me, my contributed to that increase was the maize prices, which had gone up. The other thing was the load shedding issue. Now, if you look at the load shedding issue, that one has been resolved. Even I don't know if it's a chairperson or president of Millers Association, said on one interview that is with Hot FM, confirmed that the load shedding issue on their part, government had tried to ensure that the millers had some dedicated supply, and even currently we've seen that load shedding has gone down. In the second instance, where it comes to the supply of the maize, government issued instructions to FRA to start selling maize to the suppliers at a lower price, okay, just to try to sort out this problem. So there have been interventions that have been put in place, but why is it seemingly that the price isn't going down after all these interventions? So I think there is more that needs to be done. I think there's another angle to this whole situation that has to be looked at, because these interventions are expected to bring the prices of these commodities of the maize, of the milling meal, whether it's a roller, whatever, it's supposed to come down. But why are we seeing that these prices are still going up and people are complaining? And then also there's also the thing in terms of the brands, okay? So what they are currently quoting at, for example, 190, which seems to be the highest price, it goes with the brand that you want, okay? These other brands have selling at a lower price as well. I'm talking about breakfast, not roller. So it also depends on the brand that the person is going for. But in times when things are hard, we know that the economy is greatly affected. You cannot afford to be very luxurious. You need to make a moderation in what you are doing. So my submission is that yes, government needs to take a step further and look at this situation. Why aren't the prices going down? Okay. And even for us as citizens, let us be considerate, not to always be agitated, even when a statement has been issued that has got some sense in it. Let us not be sentimental. Let us be factual and handle things as they are happening. Thank you. That's my submission.
All right, thank you, CJ. We do appreciate. Womkelevai, what is your say? About the VIPs. Wage there. If you can't afford, breakfast, resort to Rollamil, and Rollamil is so nutritious. And people are saying we need not be told what to eat. It just needs to be affordable. Then we choose on our own. What's your reaction?
Well, Fwema Zambian Hetwali Shupa, we always want to create a mountain out of a molehill. There's nothing wrong with that statement. There's nothing wrong, but because we want to politicize every little thing that comes from the government, we want to make it as though it is a punishment. Have you noticed that every time this government does something, it is always responded by the public, or especially the opposition, in a very negative tone, by frustrating or shooting whatever efforts they are doing down. In every undertaking the government has done, education, starting from education, removing paying back meal allowance to the student, every opposition is against. There's an issue. People are complaining. So there's nothing good. It's like now I understand Lesa for when he's sitting up there listening to people complaining, no takuli mfula awe leso yu awe na watu awe takuli mfula atupele mfula awe mfule hii awe yalo shasa. There's nothing. We a human being, we are never going to appreciate everything that somebody in authority does. If this statement she issued was injurious, show us how. Or was it defamatory or degrading? How? Is Rollamil not meal meal? Breakfast, is it not meal meal? It is the same thing. The only difference is that the other one, mwalishubula na mapapiko yonse mwaliposa. That's why moneka white. And the other one, mwaligayane mapapiko yayo. That's all. And if they say, iye kweta mapapiko, iye alikwata ko tuma benefits, health benefits. So what is wrong with the minister or the vice president saying those things, to say, look at the benefits? Kuti mwashitako nowachipa, because even that meal price, the price of Rollamil is even lower than the price of breakfast. That's what we know. But that does not mean she insulted the Zambian people's intelligence, or she's demonizing them, or she's mocking the Zambians. No. Like CJ has already put it, the government is looking into this, and people are forgetting that the reason why Ubungana Budula Lelo, the reason why we are going through all this hardship today, there are so many factors, and one of the biggest factors, PF, if you're Vasha, Bachita, we cannot go away. We cannot stay away. To kuse, if we coffee Vasha, then to vike under the carpet. We are not being honest to ourselves. Balishe Nkongole, Balisha Valio Naula. And how do we repay the new government that is trying to fix them? By throwing stones to them. We should just be honest for Zambians. Tatwa bafe honest. And naleso twate mosa nokulala ndapo. Ala akatulopola, because tulibabu fi. We always try to make things worse when there's nothing. Takuli insala Zambia iyo ino ninka na ine. If you kulia na fidula na tuishiva, yes, and there are reasons to that. And the government is working day and night to mitigate these challenges. And we are going to have a better country tomorrow. But we are in a hurry. We have run out of patience, Zambia. We want a government that came within 16 months to fix all the problems that were destroyed or distracted in 10 years, within 2 years. That we are not being fair to Hakainde Hichilema and his team. So lekeni boma iyanganepo pankani ya maprice. Njala eve mzambia tilibe njala iyo eve ni boza. But vokudya vodula tiziva. And vokudya evi na mafuel tiziva chamene chinalengesa and bali kuichaya nkondo kuti bachite bwanji basirize nkani ya maprice yo amene anaenda pamwamba. That is the current status and that is the fact. Olomuletemo ma politics bazaisiriza nkani. Mwamene wanasirizira nkani ya load shedding bana anaishita fix. Ni ndani lero amene mumvera amene akungokamba pa load shedding. Bonse muli zi mwamene muzaka nkalira zi na mailo komazo next week ngati babweza mitengo ya chani ya vakudya na fuel. So tiye ntinkale zi tiyangane tulekere chalo chisevenze. Ngati bakangiwa bali na 5 years mind you tizava chosa ndine number 1 amene zakabwera na pamene pano nokuuzani mwe bantu tiye ntiba chose bakangiwa. But at the moment na vintu pamene viendera ahawe ababeve bane bapasa number 1. They are doing things the way it should be. Tikubachita praise chabe because tikutibakonda. We see, we make comparison na babaja bamene benzeko bamene banali kutichitira bwanje the way they used to treat us. So tien tinkale very careful Mazambian. Tinkale very careful. Oloba nati onongera ziko banzatu baja bakali na ma immunity benango tibakonda ni banzatu ni bantu batu. So let's just be patient. If tafimbwa lubilo na totera.
All right, Mr. Mukelewa, thank you so much. We do appreciate your voice to that particular story. Let's get to the next story, and we see you on the other side. Remember, this is Point of View, and you are reacting to stories of the week, headlines of the week. Let's get to the next story.
In the wake of the country recording cases of cholera, traders in Lusaka Central Business District have bemoaned the fecal matter being spread across their trading spaces due to a broken sewer line. The traders have told Crown News that the state has been the same for years now.
Situation siri bwino bwakatamba mwaisho. Situation yesu iye kwati na ifutura bombera kwa pamanje moneni. Ngamako pafe bwino feso. No bwino. Teture bomba bwino. Ure nunkiro amafi.
They are calling on the relevant authority to move in quickly and attend to the problem.
Nikudala panchinayamba. This is the main sewer wachoka na ku city market cons. Adeni apampa iri mpama shops. Papezeka bantu ambiri. So bantu ambiri wazankala infected because of this thing. So please tapapata bakonzeko chintu ichi nikudala panchinayamba chavuta vanabwera vakanso vasokonza valembapo nolembapo Lusaka utanso warage but it's not working out chichosa chevimanzi so chabe daily.
They have lamented that their businesses have been affected due to the overflow of sewer at their trading space.
Business is down your boss because of your many issues sewer. Otherwise in pressure. Semeni kudwara kolera semeti nadwara kudala ni mulungu chabe. Koza paso chikwaniza 9 years. Chichoka so chabe manzi. Na mushopu muchenze kungena umu. Koropa matuvi. Sinachache kupanga cheka slope. Nze kungena mvula ikaloka, demo mvula iloka, demo na veve manzi yachoka.
Chintu chinamba kudala babisa tunatamba fika fyambiri muno. Na kwa 23 years ago pa unipi hapa. 23 years stand ndiye ipatia. Chentu bombe. sebenzani urufyengo talifayikwa ichi chintu bakontrolini abantu pano pachalo pali barufyengo leso akumulo kesho bafyonzi mwelesa twafweni na wale bomba buteko chentu afani mwishnaka iswa ku Nazareth ifyo nganalanda kungumila pa bantu.
Alfred Chimba reporting for Crown News.
All right, there we have it. You know, connectivity was a challenge, you know, for me. But finally, I can see that I am back on set. Are you getting me, CJ, Mr. Mkelevai?
Loud and clear.
Beautiful. Let me invite you, CJ, to react first to this story. It appears he has a challenge. Mr. Mkelevai, you can take it up.
Thank you so much, Chaza. It was a little bit sad to see the last gentleman got a little bit emotional because it's sad. It's really sad that, you know, this dependent syndrome, I don't know how we can alleviate it, how we can remove this in our mindsets and pointing a finger every time there's a situation, things that we can even do it ourselves. We want to look at the government to come and it's now a song, Boma Iyanganepo. Boma Iyanganepo. Olokwisa tufunyisha fya mafi pang'anda payadi yesu. Yale fuma mafi at Boma iise mkuyanganapo. Seriously, me, I find this so upsetting. Why ukulanda twali kwata pamulomo fema Zambian twali shivo kulanda, and we love blaming, by the way. But when it comes to do things our way, isentulange mumisango in our own works, look at the manner in which we abandon our own. And we keep on coming back to the same thing. Every year that passes, we still witness the same problem. Meanwhile, we are there. Some of the guys there, they are making money, a lot of profits. They have shops, but you will never see them coming together as a team to mitigate, to fix that problem that they've had. But they want to leave everything to the local authority or to the people in charge when they're the ones who are affected. They're the ones who are going to get cholera. And I see someone is they're even flying Ottomani, cooking, and on beside their fecal matters passing by. What does that mean? What does that entail? What kind of human beings are we? That we cannot fix our own surroundings and would rather die and wait for the government. When the government is funded, whenever they have that day, when they dream that they come now to fix our problem, that's when we are going to we know the government and the local authorities are mandated to do those things. If I were you, I would do it myself, fix it, get the bill, go to the local authority, and now tell them, here is our bill as the community in that, or an association in that surrounding. We want you to pay us because we fixed it. It was your mandate. You are obligated to do that. If they refuse, then you take them to court and even claim more interest. You get the best lawyers, not to care send them lawyers and politicians. Then you go to court because namkwatama shops. You're making money. That is your business area. Why don't you organize yourselves? We are human beings. We are not animals, Vane. We are not animals. That's why Vale to say cover neswaba kwata. We even envy. Aba ya kufialo fiaba sungu. Bali ikala bwino. Kuno it's clean. People, they work as a team in a community. They come together and fix these small little problems. You don't have to wait for the government to come. put the government to task, sue them if they are not fixing certain things. Do it yourselves and then sue, take them to court. You will be compensated. That's what I can say over this issue. Tuilalekelela tuleipaya, preventable diseases to affect us and kill us when we ourselves can do something about it. We don't have to wait for people who don't care. Look at what happened with our PF. Did they care to come and fix your problems? Because those problems have been there for a long time. Now, they are not even coming to fix that problem because they have other issues to sort out. They are not coming to your aid. It will take more years, not until Pafuila Bantu. That's when you see people coming, no, as a government, as a local authority. No, do it yourselves. Put Sonkeni Ndalama. Fix problem yo ama fear yo. So that mupuishe problem yo, elo nomba mulole keshe kubuteko. Iseni mutuli pidempia shesu. I would rather pursue them in the court of law and prevent my lives and my other people's lives. That's my take on that part for now.
Right, Mr. Mkelewai, thank you so much. We do appreciate. And at the time, I almost invited CJ. The network could not allow him to stay. Considering that he's not here to make his reaction. Let's quickly get to the next story. We are moving away from the issue of cholera, and Mr. Mkelewai is saying it is incumbent upon ourselves, to protect ourselves against, such dangerous diseases that are even preventable. I've seen CJ. CJ, are you there? CJ, are you getting us? Unfortunately, he still has, that problem. So they are saying prevention is better than cure. Let us get to protect ourselves there. CJ, are you there? Unfortunately, he's not. Let's proceed to the next story, and we get to react on the other side of the story.
While the opposition has gone on a rampage to criticize many of the decisions that the government, including President Hakainde Hichilema, have been implementing since they took over office, government feels enough is enough as the opposition is not giving the much-needed checks and balances, but instead dividing the country by uttering tribal remarks. 7 cabinet ministers in Lusaka convened a meeting to criticize the behavior of the opposition, which they say, if not addressed, will put the country on fire and frustrate government's effort in uniting the country, which was destroyed by the previous administration. Chief Government spokesperson Choshi Kasanda was the first to criticize how hypocritical the opposition has become.
PF left this country on its knees and bleeding, and that is what we have come to resolve. I am surprised that today, after being given freedom of assembly and expression, the people of the PF today can open their mouths and speak. In Bemba we say, in Soni, Ebuntu. It's actually shocking that the Yoruba PF after what they made this country go through, after what they subjected this country to.
Meanwhile, Minister of Youth, Sports and Art Elvis Nkando has reminded the Zambian people not to forget how they live like foreigners in their own country, reminding them not to forget where they are coming from and the suffering they had to endure, accompanying his remarks with a Bemba saying, Kapoli ni Kapoli.
In Bemba we say Kapoli ni Kapoli. No matter how much they may try to rebrand, they will still get back to the same old ways. You should not forget easily that there was discrimination even on empowerment programs. There was discrimination who to give a job. Some of you pay them 20,000 kwacha for you to be given a job, which money you've not even collected from them.
And Commerce Minister Chipoka Mulenga and Mines Minister Paul Kabuso were also quick to condemn the opposition, further stating that government of the UPND is keen at restoring the country to its glory.
You, the media, who are challenging us to say the new Dawn government, you're receiving a lot of backlash, a lot of attack, but you're not speaking. When we speak, you say, using government's taxpayers' money to discuss tribalism. Please, our media, you have a responsibility to advance a positive agenda in this country.
PND na ego shishe chalo opo chifuyo kuba. Elo li moinenda papa. Iyo na mkokolo kusoba mubani, na mkokolo kusoba KCM, na mkokolo chika. Chalo chali wola, chali onaika, chali salangana.
For the Transport Minister Frank Tayali, President Hakainde Hichilema is here to stay.
Kubekala chalo nokutila, mwebekala chalo mwebepwa. Ichibe mbachitila, akabwelela kalagia. But PF, they are going out of their way to change the narrative. Because unafile chipingo chalanga, imirimo yesu ega tukonka. But PF, imirimo ya wea tukonka. Therefore, we shouldn't even belabor the point.
Prudence Chota.
A couple of proverbs that I have heard there, that kapoli ni kapoli. I don't know if I'm even saying it right. And there's also another one, akabwelela kalalia, something like that. Mr. Mkelebai, your reaction.
I just want to thank the ministers for, after a lot of cry from the society and from, I think, within also the party, for having had time to come out and attend to the cries and counter-react to some of these propaganda that have been spread all over the nation by the opposition. Today, the opposition, they are everywhere. It's not just today. We saw that from the moment the freedom of expression, they realized that Hakainde wasn't coming for them. Hakainde was busy trying to fix the economy. They thought, apanomba yamonekere nchito. They even now went to the medias that they themselves had closed. And today they are on those shows, they are the number ones, and they have also recruited their own fellow members to open up to my social media platforms, TV stations, paid by our money that they took. Today they are using those to go flat out. And our government has been quiet because they are busy doing their work, trying to fix the economy. And to see 7 or 8 ministers coming on the podium, on the social media and everywhere to counter-react or intercept this propaganda and tribalism, to me, that's a wonderful step in the right direction. And I hope that they, from today, will not sit back, because people are beginning to doubt. People are beginning to believe all the lies the PF and the other opposition are busy spreading out. It was not long ago that people decided to chase all these people out of power. And today they are coming back, claiming they have now repented and they have reformed, rebranded, and they want to come here and tell you, the Zambian people, to say this government that has only been in the government for a few months is doing nothing, has failed. Who does that? How can you fail even before your term has even ended and you have failed? What's the rush? Fish mulevutukira by opposition. What are you scared of? Take your time. Your time is coming to rate this government, whether they are doing the great job or they've done nothing. But not today, not yesterday. It's too early. And most of these problems today that the country is facing, it's all pointing back at you. And how do you even face your own people, honestly? I don't think Inegutinafisama, you even have the power to go and start precipitating Ubufi and tribalism in a country.
They are actually saying that they've rebranded and probably they are repentant and they can come back anew.
Hence those idioms, Kapoli, Nikapoli.
What's the meaning of that, Mr. Mkelebai? Kapoli, Nikapoli.
From my understanding, me Nani Mulozi, from my understanding, when they say Kapoli, Nikapoli, is that all the habits die hard.
Okay.
For them to change, to be calling themselves angels, or they have repented, it is just a statement, or it's a lie. They are who they are, and no matter how much suits we may dress them, we will see them going back to the mud, amatipa. Olomwisende Kapoli. Kapoli, I believe it's a pig.
So I was even thinking to myself that Kapoli probably is a monkey.
No. It's a pig. I think it's a wild pig.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a wild pig, and that's why sometimes these idioms, they're a little bit. If you translate them in these foreign languages, it's quite a big insult to us here that lives in the diaspora. You call somebody a pig. It's a huge insult. It's actually related to racism. But according to Bemba idioms, it is just an example to tell you that you can never change. Once a pig, always a pig.
Okay.
So that's what they're trying to say here. That's what those guys are saying. And for the Minister of Information to even come out to say umwenso ebuntu
ati akawelela
kalalia. Yes, of course. You can't go back to. It's like you throw up and then you want to go and start checking chicken. That's just disgusting. You can't go back and start eating unless you are mad. So that's what they're trying to say. But in a democratic dispensation, of course, you cannot use such terms because you don't know how people are going to react tomorrow or to vote. Democracy is it's a game of numbers. So you never know. The very Kapoli tomorrow may organize themselves and win, But these are just sentences that they're using to discourage people that have been there, they've stolen, they've destroyed, from not coming back and repeat the same things that they've done. So I believe the ministers, they were saying those in their own language, in their own idioms, because according to the idioms, they don't really mean literally what you are saying. But if you follow in English, it could be some discriminatory or is calling somebody an animal. It's something that is, so those are the conflicts between our customary norms and the inherited laws, the written laws. So anyway, let's not go further on that aspect. Otherwise, the issue of tribalism, I believe that is what the ministers were trying to talk about. It should actually never be entertained. And anybody that wants to push that agenda should be removed from society, and put isolated. My request is let them be put in isolation. I think prison is the best rehabilitation center for people that are tribal or discriminatory, narcissist, bigotry. These are people or rapists, they are categorized. We categorize such people in that angle, in that area. And the only best place to rehabilitate, to change such mindset, it's prison. And prison is not a bad place. It's a treatment center. And we need people like Vene Kambwili, Vene Chirufya Tayari, to be put more remind prison or rehabilitation center to make them realize, to say, I am a statement Valelanda. They're quite dangerous. They will divide the nation, which themselves will never handle. So such people are better separated, put in one place. And that place, my only recommendation is the prison. That's the best. Look at what happened with Hakainde. Hakainde was put in prison. And guess what happened? How he came out. Perfect. He's our perfect president today. Nelson Mandela. Prison. Prison are the rehabilitations of this world. Let's put those chaps in there to be rehabilitated so they can be good citizens. Otherwise, we are going to lose such a wonderful human resources.
May I also jump in before my internet?
Yeah, please, do come in, CJ.
Okay, so sorry, but allow me to talk about that sewer issue. Okay, I know that place, it's in town, just I'll say between Lumumba Road and Freedom Way, there's a center road. Okay, and that place has been like that for a long time. Okay, there are businesses that are running there, and I would say the local authority is not doing what it's supposed to do, because they've tried to work on that thing, but it keeps on flashing up the sewer just around about there. So they need to look at it from a different angle, because even if the businesses that are there contribute and try to fix it from their angle, I don't think they can manage. It has to do with the system. It has to do with the system, because they've tried covering it up, but again, you find it's still flashing the thing. So the local authority has to relook at the system and find out what the real and where the issue is. Okay, so
qualified plumbers or my engineers.
The council is supposed to have those, so they need to replan that thing. That's what I would say.
No. Put the people who are qualified to assess the damage, the injury, because what we are doing here, we are just speculating. Now, I'm a businessman, they are also busy speculating. So let them put people who are qualified enough to find what is the cause. Not to muntu na ulwala ulea kunganga, ulesha doctor, wasambiri. Mayo.
So, Mr. Mkeleba, who should take, those professional engineers and plumbers?
The people themselves, the community, the people who are benefiting in that area. They put people together, let them assemble themselves, make a committee, and let them make a follow-up. If it means that that engineer needs money, some of them, they can even afford. You haven't even approached them just for some consultation or surveying. How much?
What about the engineers at the local authority?
Yeah, exactly. They can also use them. But if they are not coming forth, they are sitting in their offices. Meanwhile, the people who are benefiting in that area, whose business is being affected, you are just seated doing nothing, waiting for unknown for 30 years or 23 years. Honestly. then there must be something wrong with the people themselves. Something is wrong somewhere.
Boma yanganepo, Mr. Mkelebaya.
Yeah, boma inga yanganepo, but ingati boma iyangana kwinango. What are you going to do? Muzalindira muzafa hapo mwalafu hapo fie. You are going to die po fie and boma tayakaluzena nguchimo. Nimwe wabalelusa abantu. So fix, find, organize yourselves. Even protest. You can even protest. The local authorities are not doing anything. Lift them a placard. Go to council. Tell them. If they can't listen, or take them to court. Sue them. They will listen. Local authorities are not immune. The government is not immune from being sued for failing to deliver. That's why we sue. That's why we have court system. That is also part of checks and balances. So let's not just keep these chaps in.
Mr. Mkelebaya, I think we quickly need to get to look at the last story. We look at the last story, then your voices will still be required to be added onto the last story. Quickly, let's switch to the story that we have as last.
Products by 2 kwacha 73 ngwe for petrol, 2 kwacha 81 ngwe per liter for diesel, and 2 kwacha 32 ngwe per liter for kerosene. Further, the ERB has adjusted upwards the post-airfield price for Jet A1 at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport by 2 kwacha 71 ngwe. In the previous price review for January 2023, the average price of petrol, diesel, and kerosene on the international market was $78.67 per barrel, $106.13 per barrel, and $103.64 per barrel, respectively, compared to $87.97 per barrel, $108.96 per barrel, and $108.66 per barrel, respectively, for the February 2023 fuel price review. These movements represent an increase of 12.27%, 2.67%, and 4.84% for petrol, diesel, and kerosene. The increase in oil prices during the month of January 2023 was attributed to optimism about the rising travel demand from China reopening its economy and continued sanctions on Russian products. In addition, reduced supply of petroleum products on the market is anticipated owing to limited refinery output, as most refineries are expected to conduct their scheduled maintenance during the first quarter of 2023. During this price review period, the exchange rate depreciated from 17 kwacha 61 ngwe per dollar to 18 kwacha 19 ngwe per dollar, representing a 7.33% depreciation.
You are muted, Chaza.
All right, there we have it. Chaza seems to have a problem with connectivity. Mkelebaya, let's hear your view from that story about from the energy sector.
I think we have spoken. I don't know. We spoke about this yesterday, and it's what can I say? When fuel increases, it means that commodities will also increase. because everything that we deal with is also anchored on the fuel price, all the transportation of commodities. So we are going to see an increase. And I believe that's why you find that people are now taking advantage of this unsupervised price control by the government to come in and they come up and slap any amount on milli meal or any commodities or transport, because they just give a blunt out excuse that fuel has been increased. And when fuel is also decreased, we don't know, we don't see, we don't hear the government or the very people telling the nation that can you please reduce the price of all the other commodities. Because if the fuel fluctuates like that, what is happening to the other commodities in the country? Who is going to pay attention? Then yalaba kwatinich pante because we are not following properly. We don't know if this price, the fluctuation of the fuel price is now being announced on monthly basis. It will be difficult for the citizen to even also be able to adjust or on their prices of their commodities. It will be difficult to take control because some people, they'll say my stock is from the time when fuel was hiked. Some will say my stock are from the time when fuel was cheap. And nobody would want to sell their stock cheap when the current price for their fuel or whatever, it's high. So you find there will be a lot of challenges and a lot of confusion. So we want, of course, we'll go back to the government and the Energy Regulated Board to find a way of announcing this where prices for all commodities are regulated or they are in order, because we don't know. When you increase fuel, you will find that people automatically increase other commodities. And we are remember, we are in a liberalized economy. And we know it is not your fault that you are increasing because you are following the world market, what is happening in the global world. Fuel is expensive. We don't have a plant where we sell or where we produce diesel or petrol. We don't. We are dependent on importing. And when we import, we don't buy in kwachas, we buy in US$. And when we come home, we want to reduce the prices to satisfy our community. It will be difficult. So we want you guys to put up, we have economists here in this country where they can plan, they can have a long plan to say within these few months, let's say within 6 months, we are going to have the price, they are going to fluctuate. You see what has been happening before, and you see where we are going, and you can just approximate and come up with one figure that will help people also to standardize the prices, because the prices there's too much. That's why today people are crying. The millers, they are selling their maize meal at higher prices. The retailers that are distributing to those small, they are selling meal price at their own. So Palifie, nobody is there to pay attention to who is doing what. So we need our superpowers up there, the bosses up there, to please come up with an umbrella, despite us being in a liberalized economy, but show us your muscle, that when you give a directive, it is happening. because twalachula abantu balatuchusha sana balachula balafwa kunsala, even though tatukwete nsala mu Zambia. There is no hunger apart pali hunger, and Zambia has not yet even declared a hunger stricken nation. No, it's just that things are expensive and many people are not working. For example, ba PF abafume nchito, they have baleta ntama balireko kubafolesha indalama bali bafolesha lesha tantameni indalama balepo kapama market nashi, and that's why today everybody naba number one mkushita complain that kuli insala. Insala takuli because the government, people have food. The only problem is things are expensive, and
So,
we
Mr.
need.
Kelewai, the people are complaining to say during campaigns, the UPND promised to say fuel prices will be reduced, and ever since they came into government, there has been no reduction. And probably when those promises were being made in contemplation, maybe there wasn't the subsidies. Subsidies were removed, and the pump price has never gone down, and every time it's back and forth. It goes up by 2 kwacha. I mean, it goes down by 2 kwacha, goes up by 3 kwacha. The effect is actually on the Ascension side. Well, what do you say?
That's their strategy and that's their approach, and they felt that those subsidies were not helping the Zambian people. They were there were few individuals who were benefiting out of that, and they decided to cut down that, to remove it out completely. And I am not. I believe that's why today our children are going to school for free. They are not paying examination fees, and that's why today we don't see our parents, most parents complaining of their children school fees, and our students have been given back their monies. And that's why today we find that our retirees, our forefathers that retired some time back, today they are receiving their benefits. They are being paid. We see the room for employment that people that had graduated for so many years, and for 10 years, ever since PF came into power, they have never had jobs because they were not known. And today, they are now back into government and they are being paid because they have to be paid a salary, an income to have a livelihood. Where is that money, the government? Where is the government getting that money from? So they took the money from the people, from few individuals who were benefiting colossal sum of money. And that's why mwalesa ngati abakashana bina face musonda, balesa ngwanama 60 something million. Munganda, not kunchito, munganda. And you think she's the only one. There's a chain out there. So indalama shiria nomba lelo, tulemo nama CDF na baninika ama 20 chakuti million. Who are we, honestly, to come back and say, we marichita ubu vyukufunyama subsidies? Meanwhile, we can see ama benefits, but we see the benefits our people are benefiting. Tufirefe tuakwata fechinka. We should just be honest and be thankful that not kwata at least by economy, baliaba a lawyer, baliaba lechirisha, at least variesha, no tuma due to our tuma contracts, law of contracts, tortious liability, variesha. Nomba toaleta koba economist. Let the economist also at eshe kotumone.
Mr. Mkelewai, thank you so much. We do appreciate, always. It's, a great time having you on this program. Looking forward to having you.
But Charles, there's one thing I wanted to say. We are not happy that prices are going up, and Zambia is not excluded from the world map, because na ifwebe nyabe kala kuno ma diaspora, I promise you, ama bills to repokelela kuno, I am a light na fuel inemulela ndapwe. inkondo yaleta country ya ku Ukraine. We are not excluded, but kunoba nesu bali kwata ama reserves bali sungapo. So bale tulipirira ko ife bambale tupera ko bale tulipirira kwa light bill ya light ya afumani 80 pin elo baisa ba boma ba government baisa kulipirira po ati 60% bafunyapo iwo wale pira ya shala. So we feel good, but even though we feel good, it's still painful. Elo waingilira nomba kumyesu ku Zambia ilishani. So we should not just be pointing a finger kuri ba government that awe they are doing it is deliberate and at nabafirwa awe mayo twiraba bepesho bufi. They have not failed. It is a situation that they've come at a time when things are not okay. The world is there's war. We are just coming from the pandemic. There's a lot of challenges, and our own people deprived us money. They kelenkared us, and now we have now a huge calover we have to pay back, and we are busy negotiating. So things are not okay, bane. But this government is trying. Don't bring back the same kerenkas to come and put us more deeper again. Awe mayo. But we need opposition in Zambia. Proper, powerful opposition. Not bariaba awe. Ba Playboy Mansion.
All right, Mr. Mkelewai, thank you so much once again. Due to time, we have to end here, and I'm looking forward, to the next program next week. It's been a great time with you, not forgetting those that have left the program, the likes of Himba, CJ, and not forgetting the IT, person, Emmanuel. It's been a great time, not forgetting the viewers out there and also the listeners. This has been Point of View. My name is Chaza. Till next time, we are saying God bless you all.